Oh, it's so early. It's so early. But let's head to Arsenalen outside Stockholm. In October 2024, my friend Martin, his friend Jimmy and myself decided to take a trip to Arsenalen in Strängnäs outside Stockholm. Mostly because BAE Systems Hägglunds was there to show the new Combat Vehicle 90 that has been ordered by the Swedish military. We started the 5-hour-long drive before any gentleman should be up and awake, and it took almost 2 hours before we saw any sign of the sun. Thanks to our early start, we arrived before the museum opened. Hello, old man.
Hello.
We did visit Arsenalen last year to have a look at a Tiger II that was on loan from the Bovington Tank Museum. There's a video from that trip as well if you want to check it out. Arsenalen is a really great museum with focus on the Swedish history of armored vehicles. A beautiful model of a British World War I tank caught our interest. It was scratch-built and extremely well made. There was also the Landsverk L60 or Stridsvagn M38, a personal favorite of mine. I made the M39 in 1:6 scale a couple of years ago, which is essentially the same tank. The very small M37 is a Swedish version of the Czechoslovakian tank CDK AH4. It is smaller than most modern cars and would make an excellent model in 1:4 scale. Martin took the opportunity to do some measuring of the KP armored car, since he is building one in 1:6 scale for his wife. This year there was a Comet on display, which made Martin very happy, since the first tank he made was a Cromwell in 1:6 scale. Maybe we'll get to see a Comet as a model in the future. It is a very handsome tank. One of my favorite vehicles is the Stug III, with its short KVK L24 gun. I think the design is very appealing. It looks like something from Star Wars with all the plates and the angled superstructure. Plus, it is built on the very nice looking Panzer III with a big drive wheel in front. I do love big drive wheels. It might show up as a future project if my plans work out as intended. The Goliath tracked mine is a really interesting piece. It's hardly anything more than a remote control model tank, even though it packs a real punch. The cast metal tracks are something to dream of as a builder of model tanks. The prototype for the Bandkanon, or Bekan, is an impressive piece that greets you welcome to the Cold War part of the museum. The autoloader had an impressive and record-setting fire rate. It could empty the 2 magazines of 14 grenades plus 1 loaded in the breech in just 45 seconds. We were getting close to BAE Systems Hägglunds exhibition, but first we stopped to admire one of my favorite tanks, the Chieftain. It really looks like a sportier Centurion, and the Cold War aesthetic is very prominent. Armortech made a beautiful model of the Chieftain a few years ago, and I might give this British icon a go myself someday in the future. We finally got to see the new CV90. This is the CV90 35C, a vehicle that will replace the 50 CV90 40C that Sweden gave to Ukraine. The 9035 Mark IIIC is sort of similar to the ones used by the Dutch army, but the C prefix at the end of the name tells us that this is a modernized and updated version. Compared to the early models used by the Swedish army, this is a completely different vehicle. Fully digitalized and with features such as composite tracks, a new and stronger engine, and an active protection system to defeat incoming anti-tank missiles and possibly drones. It is equipped with its own anti-tank missiles in the shape of the Spike, and as the name 9035 suggests, it is packing a 35mm autocannon from Northrop Grumman with programmable ammunition. Yeah, you heard it right, it will not utilize the trusty 40mm gun from Bofors anymore. BAE made it clear that the 35mm autocannon is equal to the Bofors gun, despite the smaller caliber. On the older Swedish models, the turret is designed by Bofors, but the 9035C is equipped with a domestic turret from Hägglunds. At display was also the original CV90 prototype that looked a bit different from the production vehicle used by the Swedish Armed Forces today. You could tell that much water has run under the bridge since then, and even though the core concept stays the same, the difference between the first generation CV90 and the Mark IIIC standing next to it is night and day. The representatives from BAE Systems Hägglunds held an interesting and very appreciated presentation of the CV90 35C, as well as a brief history of Hägglunds & Sons itself. Once a Swedish company, it is now owned by BAE Systems in the UK. Engineering, design and manufacturing of the CV90 family is still taking place in Sweden. There is no doubt they take much pride in their vehicles, and from what I know, rightly so. Before I end this video, I would like to wish you all a happy new year. A big thank you to all of you who have watched, liked and commented during the year. As you know, things are going a bit slow right now due to our baby boy. But there is still progress to the 1:4 scale Renault AMR 35 as well as the 1:6 scale Discovery 1. There are also lots of plans for next year, and the goal is to hopefully take the models to the next level. I wish you all the best, especially my followers in Ukraine. You are not forgotten.